So now we start to talk about targeting. We've developed our segments and some profiles. Well, how do we start to sort of evaluate those segments and make a decision about which ones we're going to choose? Well, a lot of it is size, the number that they represent and how much revenue you're going to generate from them, how big is that segment expected to grow, sort of what is the possibility of generating revenue over several years, and how compatible is it with the company's objectives. It may be great to sort of have a segment that's maybe very large, but maybe the company doesn't interact with those consumers very well, or doesn't really have the capability to develop a marketing mix for that target market, in which case it might not be compatible. So when we look at deciding on the segments, again, there's some decisions that companies make. Some companies, again, follow an undifferentiated strategy. It's like a mass marketing strategy, sort of similar terminology. They just go after the whole market with one product. Other companies use a differentiated strategy where they develop a marketing mix for each different segment. That's like the Procter & Gamble example, where they have Tide for one segment, Cheer for another segment, Dreft for another segment. All those segments have a specific product mix going after them. And sometimes they follow a concentrated strategy where the company will only choose one segment to compete in. Okay? And so this is where they might do a really good job, but they may not have the resources to go after multiple segments. So your coverage strategy depends, as I just mentioned, on the company's resources, how variable the product is. Do you have the ability to develop different marketing mixes for different groups? What stage of the product life cycle is it in? And we're going to talk about product life cycle in a lecture later on, but it really means, is it a new product that you maybe have the ability to make some different marketing mixes, or is it a fairly standard tried and true product where just about everything has been done with it? How viable it will be on the market, and what your competitors are doing. It may be one thing to sort of go after another segment with a marketing mix, but if it's dominated by your competitor already, it may not be a smart move to do. So once you've chosen the segments and you've determined that this is going to be sort of what you're going to concentrate on, you then need to position the product, and it's a way of that consumers will use to sort of define and think about that particular product. And so what you want to do is start by thinking about, well, what are the competitive advantages that we have with our product? And which competitive advantages seem to be most important with our consumer? And then using those to develop a positioning strategy. Now, by strategy, what I mean is that there's an image created in consumers' minds about your product relative to their competitors. So when you say when they think about their product, about your product, they think about it in a certain way relative to competitors. And so you create this image using the marketing mix, using advertising, using packaging, and so after a while consumers begin to think about your product in a certain way. And so if you look at the examples here, the Quicker Picker Upper, okay, is a brand of towels, and they've positioned it based on its benefits, that it is very absorbent and it picks up spills really quickly. And so that product is thought of as the Quicker Picker Upper. Or 7-Up, which was the Uncola. They kind of position their product as, we're not a cola, we're different than that. And so when consumers think about 7-Up, they always think about the Uncola. It's not a cola drink. And so it's an image that's created in consumers' minds about that particular product. So we can position products based on their attributes, benefits that they offer. We're the fastest, we offer the best gas mileage, we are the most stylish, we're number 2, but we try harder, which was the Avis and Hertz campaign. Usage occasion, so when you're really thirsty, ours is the right product.